Hope you enjoyed the food. Josh wanted to have nothing except chicken and rice, but Michelle insisted otherwise, so you can thank her for that. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Connor, Josh's best friend. I couldn't be happier standing here giving this speech at the wedding of such a great guy, who is marrying a girl that he thinks the world of. Josh and I have known each other for a large portion of our lives. In fact, we've only really known each other for about 2 years. We don't have fond childhood memories for us to look back on and for me to reminisce about. But within the span of these years, I feel as though we've gotten to know each other in a way few people know us. We've spent countless hours at the gym, mostly staring at ourselves in the mirror, poking fun at one another, and generally being a couple of meatheads. On top of that, I cannot count how many times Josh and I have had conversations drooling over the nerdiest of things, especially Star Wars. Josh wanted me to say a couple of things about his biceps and how cool his sports car is, but I know nobody wants to hear anything about that. Jokes aside, our mutual passions have allowed us to be completely real with each other, and that is why I consider Joshua my best friend. Now to the reason why we're all here. In my knowing Josh, I've had the pleasure of meeting Michelle and seeing how they interact together on a day-to-day basis. Josh and Michelle make an excellent couple. They share interests in music, movies, and have an identical sense of humor. Though they get annoyed with each other sometimes, mostly because Josh can't stop talking about the size of his chest, and repeats the phrase, "I'm gonna get me all kinds of games." All kinds. I have never encountered a more dedicated couple. Josh is the most loyal, loving, and caring guy I've ever seen in a relationship, and Michelle deserves every bit of that kind of dedication. That's what makes them so great together. Speaking of the bride, I was really hoping to be the best looking person here tonight, but you really blew me out of the water, Michelle. You look absolutely beautiful, doesn't she? Now, if everybody could join me in raising a glass, or whatever you have, or just pretend it's fun. May you two always find comfort in each other's company and have a lifetime of happiness together. I cannot think of a more deserving couple. I love you both very much. Here's to the bridegroom.
Alright, so I'm not as hilarious as Connor, so bear with me. Alright, so for those of you who don't know, my name is Natasha. I'm a close friend of the bride and groom. I want to thank everyone who came out to give their love and support today, and a special thank you to both families and the wedding party for helping make today possible. For those of you who don't know me, you may be wondering how Michelle and I became friends. And for those of you who do know me, you're probably even more curious about how this moment came to be. Well, my first real encounter with Michelle took place about 3.5 years ago when I reached out to Josh to wish him a happy birthday. But instead of getting a response from Josh, I actually got a response from Michelle. But, you know, of course at the time I was like, was unsure who Michelle was, so I was like, oh no, like what to expect, wasn't really sure. Kind of expecting the worst, But instead, I got a message that said, hey, like I hope you don't mind that Josh showed me your message, and I think it's really, really kind of you to have messaged him, and I would really like to get to know you for myself. So that day I learned 2 things. One, I learned that Michelle was certainly not an ordinary girl like the rest. But instead she was kind, understanding, and very open-minded. The second thing I learned that day was about Josh's loyalty and commitment to Michelle. A few weeks ago in Connecticut, Michelle and the girls and I were playing a little game where we went around and we said we liked most of our significant other. And Michelle's first answer, without any thought, was Josh's commitment to her. And I really think that says a lot about the nature of their relationship, and but ever since I've gotten the chance to get to know Michelle, I've come to realize what an honest and dependable friend she is. She's always been there for me. She's always been there to help any friend in need. Even when we barely knew each other and she owed me absolutely nothing, she was there for me. So besides her kind heart and open mind, I also came to learn about Michelle's musical talents. And for those of you who don't know much about the MacFarline family, musical talent sure goes a long way. Michelle and Josh's mutual love for music is actually one of the main reasons these two met. And so I'm actually hoping that here in a little bit we might be able to convince them to show us what a duet by the Mr. and Mrs. MacFarline.
Yes.
I even think we have a guitar here for you guys, so
Yes.
there you go.
Do it.
But we can worry about that later. I won't put you guys on the spot too much. So it wasn't only that they had things in common, but also that they began to like the same things. One of those things being Lord of the Rings, and yes, that includes Josh's Smeagol voice. Or making things like doing an attack or donating troops sound normal in everyday conversation. I don't really know. They even began to share a passion for randomly breaking out to song and supporting hockey teams, even in their slump years, no matter how long that might last. Let's not forget how Josh was somehow able to convince a city girl to uproot her life and to move out here and join us in the county, even though we're all probably better off because of it. But really, I knew Josh was the one for Michelle, and I saw just how much respect for her he has and how he's always on her side when she needs someone to be. He's her biggest fan, and you can see just how comfortable they are being their most authentic selves when they're together. So, may you guys look back on today as the day you guys loved each other the least. Sorry. And today and every day for the rest of your days, I wish you nothing but laughter and adventure. With love and happiness, here's to you guys. Writing room.